Greetings, everybody, and welcome to That Game Place. That's right. We are back after a week of missing you so very, very much. I promise. We are into February. We have no trophies awarded right now, so the leaderboard resets, and we come to you live once a week, although that day may be changing. Maybe next week. We may move back to Wednesday. I don't know. It's going to be up to the crew. There's a lot of us. Maybe we can get 10 of us, 8 of us to agree. We'll have to see, but I have a feeling we'll move next week. And on that note, I'm not going to hide the panel as small as it is right now. We are awaiting the great and powerful Spencer, but we also have, of course, Jonas J. Campbell. What's going on?
Hey, guys. So good to see. Oh, wait. Sorry. I am in the wrong office here. There we go.
There we go. Welcome to the gaming world. All right. Very good. Looking handsome there. Jonas.
Still the wrong one.
You're in your gray suit today. So
no, still I don't know what's going on here. Yeah. Good to be here today, though.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I think everybody else is glad you're here. Loki is here. What's going on, Loki? How you doing, buddy?
Watching the trash fire over on PlayStation Network has just been like a delight. I'm so glad I'm a PC gamer and that I don't have to deal with all the shenanigans, the chaos over on PlayStation.
Well, I'm doing good. Yeah, no, I have a feeling that that you're doing really well. A lot of people are doing really well. A lot of people are laughing because of the choices they made with like Steam and other things. But I don't know. We will definitely get to that story. That's going to be pretty quick. But we got a couple others we want to get to as well. So let's take a look. Jonas, do we have somebody who already smashed us with $20?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Hold on here. Tennille89, aka Dislike Spawns for $20. Something witty joke, Dark Tide, Culture's Beard, Platinum status, please. I think that's platinum right there, isn't it? I actually don't know the rules, Culture. What are the rules?
Well, the rules are there was nobody. It's February, so there was nobody anywhere until that moment. And of course, we will definitely get the trophy system going. I imagine you'll be back to platinum leading the way, and the rest of you, well, you're just going to try to keep up. I need to cough. Jonas, lead on.
Yeah, I'm going to say this. There was a moment with MegaCon when it finally was a quiet moment, and I stopped at a Dave & Buster's because got to meet with a couple of other YouTubers. Not trying to drop names here, but we went in. And it's always hard to find actual fun games in a new arcade where they're like against the old stuff, the good stuff. They would rather like come up with a new version of like Centipede that is humongous so they can charge like $3 for it. I'm not about that. But there was a Pac-Man that had like 8 possible player positions on it. And I didn't know any of the rules. And I found that kind of refreshing. It wasn't perfect. It still had its problems. It was kind of nice to play a classic style arcade game where you're trying to figure out what's going on. I really enjoyed that. Took me back. Oh, and Tennille89 for $2 says, huzzah. Coolsville. And Culture, I got to tell you, buddy, you are muted.
Yeah, it was cute. Yeah. We've got stories to get to. There's some crazy out in the world. We've been covering the crazy on that park place at that game place, technically. But I think I would appreciate a story about a little bit of gaming urinalism because it seems to be so poor these days. Let me ask a question. Did anybody notice that there are other people paying attention to this? Namely, a fella named Elon, or is it just me?
Yeah, I've heard about that guy. Do you want to talk about that story first, Culture?
I don't know. What would you like to talk about first? You're
I mean, we
in charge.
No, you're in charge, sir. But here we go. Over on that park place, Elon Musk calls video game journalism garbage struggling industry lashes out to defend itself. This by Marvin Montanaro over there. There it is. Elon Musk has once again triggered the gaming press, this time with a single post on X that perfectly summed up what gamers have known for years about gaming journalism. Video game journalism, with quotes, is garbage.
Yeah.
He missed a space right there, by the way, but I guess he didn't have time. He was probably busy making $1 billion or something like that.
He's busy. He's busy. Either that or he's trying to catch a leaker. You don't know.
You don't catch a leaker. That one short statement was enough to send usual suspects in games media into a full-blown meltdown. Kotaku reporter Ethan Gack tried to downplay Musk's criticism. They ruined my toys is the sophistication level of the animus driving the current reactionary takeover.
Really? Really?
Hope.
Yeah, that seems like a little cope. Seems like a little bit of cope. But look, I mean, right now we have some very poor representatives of gaming journalism that are at various outlets. Now, of course, over at That Game Place, we have some of the most esteemed writers and makers of things, creators of goodness and wonder. At the same time, we have to report on other people's poor behavior. And let's just say there's plenty of poor behavior out there to go around. I would say that calling out Kotaku would have been something that we would have expected from Elon, but his ability to go after so many others, I'm actually enjoying, and I feel like he's joined us where we live. And this is a guy, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jonas and Loki, who actually developed a game.
Are we talking about American Truck Songs? Or are we talking about Elon? Elon, did he?
Elon.
No, he did. He did develop a game back in the day.
Yeah, some kind of.
Apparently, I think I saw some indications that Grok is capable of game design. Although I wouldn't count that.
I don't know. Loki, what do you think, buddy? How you feeling about this?
I think Elon's calling out the problem. I mean, you know, you've got all these journalists that have fed into this machine, that have trounced gamers, that just think gamers are trash. Why even be a gaming journalist if you're going to lash out at the fans of gaming? Oh, you're not grown up enough to do this. Oh, you're not blah, 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 blah. It's all trash. And they get patted on the back and their little buddies come by and like, oh, you owned him on the internet. No, you didn't own anybody. You just made yourselves look even worse than you already are. Giving 9s to EA games. The way they always give 7s over at IGN, the way they prop up the absolute worst trash you could ever spend your money on, and denounce anything that doesn't follow their DEI authority. It's all a mess, and Elon knows it. He's just calling it out.
Respect my authority.
Yeah.
But honestly, I mean, Jonas, it's right of everybody to start calling this out now.
Right. Absolutely. And who pays attention to what game journalists say anyways? It seems to be they've been disconnected from their audience for so long in a way that even like film critics will at least agree when a film is good, but maybe not. Like game critics give you ideas like ludonarrative dissonance. Like it's a problem. If you think about it, he's going around murdering everyone. No, just it's a game. Let it be a game. We don't need to think about it in terms of movies. We need to enjoy our games. I also look at what this guy says here. The current reactionary takeover. This is a person who mistakes what's going on in the world. He thinks he's at that level that anyone reacting to what he's doing is a reactionary takeover, as opposed to the elitist takeover that they did, trying to change the space that they commented on. No, this is out of touch. I know the Kotaku guy ain't talking right now. That's funny. Video game journalists weren't always this bad. There was a time when outlets actually focused on reviewing games, providing guides, and reporting on industry developments without injecting politics into every headline. Then came Gamergate. And quoting a story here from Vera Dark. Vera, she is. By the way, we've got an article from Vera Dark on That Park Place if you guys want to go search it.
I used to love Electronic Gaming Monthly, Jonas Culture. I don't know if you remember that. They had guides, they had stories, they had development stuff that was going on. They had gamers that would do nothing but play these games and enjoy these games and let you know, hey, I really like this. I didn't like this feature. I didn't like this new innovation, or I really did. It used to be about playing the games and letting people know, hey, this is worth your time. Now, no, absolutely not.
I agree. And you know, I was a more innocent person then, but Nintendo Power was very focused on enjoying the games.
Yep.
I mean, they never rated anything below a 3, but at the same time, most video games weren't that bad. Maybe we were all younger then, but a video game magazine literally putting the entire map, except for the last level, got to save that for fun, into it was a game magazine plus game guide. So good.
Yeah. And I mean, I was so much older then. I'm younger than that now. But I do remember that went over everybody's head. I must be that old. but I do remember the strategy guides, and I do remember like the Easter eggs that you would get revealed. And I do remember the maps and the other things that you've described. But I also remember like real journalism you could count on, reviews you could count on, and not game guides to how to make out with hands in this new game or whatever. So,
you mean Hans? Sorry, I was like, with your hand, you don't need a
Hans.
You just put down the controller.
Hands, whatever. This weird thing from this deliverance thing, which I'm going to be delivered from because I'm not even going to look at it.
The game wasn't on my radar. I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I cannot wait to not talk about that one.
You know what's really fun is Mario Wonder. Anybody who hadn't played Mario Wonder, if you have a Switch, get Mario Wonder.
That is a joyous game right there. Like the fact that you walk into a game and you walk into a level and you can walk through and it could be, your kiddie challenge. But if you hit that Wonder Seed, you never know what's going to happen in every single level. It is so Nintendo right there.
It's for breakfast now, by the way.
That's right. And the animation in that game is great. They use old style animation techniques on the sprites. If we still call them sprites.
What happened to sprites? I miss sprites.
Yeah. I like the sprite in you, Culture.
I had a sprite on the plane on my way back. So there's that.
But here we are. The idea of actually enjoying a game is not something that enters into video game journalism at this time. It seems very corrective, very nanny state, very much like, no, we're going to tell you the thing that you enjoy, you don't enjoy it correctly. And who wants to do that? Who wants to go to a theme park with the person who tells them, no, you're doing it wrong. I'm going to tell you how to enjoy this. Oh, I was already enjoying it. No, we're going to make it so it's harder for you to enjoy it so that you appreciate it when it gets to this specific set of things to enjoy. Nobody has a good time with that.
Are you sure?
I'm sure. Yeah, forcing you to stay on rails in a game, not letting you go outside that and saying, no, you have to play the game like this. I'm sorry. No, we don't. We've been doing it our way forever. Does anybody remember the game Genie back in the day? Does anybody remember, modding? That we've been playing the games our way forever, and the more they clamp down on this, it has to be this way, and you can't go outside the rails. We're not gonna let you mod on a PC. You're not gonna let us mod a game on a PC. Well, we just won't come out with it because we want you to play the game like this. And then I just won't play your game. That's simple.
That's a perfect statement right there. And the game Genie never hurt the sales of any game in any way. It was also a pretty awesome commercial. Yeah, man, that took me back. By the time the Power Shark came around, I think I was past the idea of the game Genie. But people modding a game, and I get it. There's some weird mods out there that I might disagree with because it's somebody going in and putting their own content in the game. But I feel like this is like a psyop level of trying to modify things here. These are people that I'm convinced they don't actually enjoy games. They want to say there's a problem with the thing that you enjoy as opposed to actually enjoying it. By the way, hey, there's our good friend Smash JT there. And I hope that I wish him success in the fight against a gaming journalist who doesn't like his opinions. I hope that he's successful in that. To me, this whole thing is just, what if you actually enjoyed games? What if you wrote about games because you actually like to play games? I know sometimes we do like culture war stuff on here, just in the same way this is a culture war issue. But it all has to come down to, well, do you enjoy playing video games? Yes. It's a litmus test. I don't even care if you play video games. Do you enjoy playing video games? Yeah.
That is kind of a litmus test, and it's a test of where your head's at, because you can be terrible at video games and still enjoy them, and that's something I think we all share. There are games I am terrible at. What's the Souls like games?
No.
I'm just like, I get annoyed because there's a pattern I have to follow, or there's a dodge I have to make, or something like that. And I just don't want to go through, a game like 1,000 times trying to figure out, okay, for this particular enemy, I have to do this dodge, and then this dodge, and strike, and then pull back, and then dodge backwards, and roll forward, and strike. I don't want to do that. I mean, if that's fun for you, pattern recognition and all that, go to town.
I used to love that. Mega Man X, I'm trying to think if it was X or X2. In the fight against Sigma, you have to know every single pattern he does and do it super quick if you're going to win that last fight. You have some options depending on what weapon you use, but there is a place for those pattern recognition fights. They're not for everybody. It's usually the point where you're at the end, but if you're not into it, you got the rest of the game to play.
That was X1. You could bypass all that if you had like the Hadouken fireball thing that Dr. Light gave you. One hit kill.
That thing is so cool.
Hadouken.
I thought it was, I didn't for the life of me think that Hadouken was real, because I went through that armored armadillo stage so many times. They're like, oh, you have to do it. You can't be hit, and you got to do it 7 times and all this. I don't know what the actual rules are. Eventually, I did do it. And I was like, oh, okay. So I guess I was just a loser trying to get through this thing in the day. That was fun. Again, that's the kind of thing that gaming journalists should be talking about.
Yeah. And that's the kind of things that we like to talk about, right? I mean, that's one of the reasons why we do the videos the way we do. It's one of the reasons why we're starting to do gameplay and sharing that out with all of you. Wait till you see me get really angry at Assassin's Creed Shadow. That can be fun. And yeah, I mean, I'm here for the long haul. I don't know about you guys, but
I enjoy it.
You're not going to get away from us telling you what we think about games, and the ones that we love and the ones that we are just a little frustrated with. So, like Souls games.
Anyway. I'm looking at the super chats here, and I might need a little help interpreting one here in just a second. Tennille89, aka dislikes puns for 2 at Loki PC Master Race for the win.
That's right, man. You don't have any of these problems on PC. It's not like, hey, I gotta hook up a new CD drive. Oh, I gotta be online because it has to authenticate and do this and do that before I can ever use it. No. And guess what you have to do with a PS5 Pro? You have to authenticate your disk drive. So if you're like, you know what, I can't get online, I'll just go get a disk drive and play, physical copies. Guess what you have to do? You have to go online and you have to authenticate and register your device for the PS5 Pro before it's like, okay, you can use it.
Yep. There we go. We're going to talk about that in just a moment too. Tennille89 for 5. Maybe you can hire Yahtzee onto TGP. I guess I'd have to change my avatar then, though, which would be unfortunate. Yahtzee, like Yahtzee Croshaw? Yahtzee, like the bad people that you shoot in Wolfenstein 3D?
Or Yahtzee, like the dice game?
I stink at that game.
Maybe
I absolutely stink at Yahtzee. Easy?
Yeezy.
Oh, Yeezy. As in yay?
Yeah.
Nope. I'm good there. I will say everybody was talking about his Twitter feed. apparently whatever my algorithm is kept him out, and even though my curiosity was there, I didn't click, and now apparently he's off of X entirely,
Yeah, he went peace.
which is probably good.
Yeah.
To Neil 89 for 2. Rules of fun trademark. Yeah, there are no rules of fun. Just gotta do it safely.
No. Yeah.
Pete O'Shea's helicopter tours for $2. CC streaming Dark Souls exercise in futility.
Oh, it was
do you want to
bad.
do that next Wednesday? Actually, you want to make that the next? Hey, we should take a vote. Tom F. You should decide. Should culture stream Dark Souls?
Yes.
No.
Do it.
No.
Do it now.
Why? What is wrong with you people? I thought you liked me.
I do. That's why we want you
Dark
to grow.
Souls was Hades for me, bros. I'm serious, man.
That makes sense.
No bueno.
To Neil 89 for $2. The Critic. Yes, the Critic. The man who makes nothing and only criticizes. You got to be careful. I suppose it could be a little bit hypocritical for us to talk about gaming journalism in this way, but I think that okay. So we were at MegaCon, and I don't want to talk about MegaCon over and over again. But the number of content creators that were like, man, what are we going to do if things get good? I am hoping for a day when we get to talk about things getting good again. You know, the number of people that are just like, I'm exhausted, just ripping into stuff over and over again. I'm there with them, by the way, on that. I want to talk about positive things. At this point, it's really easy to rip on Disney. At this point, it's really easy to rip on video games. But at the same time, video games have a better opportunity here because smaller developers can come in and release something good.
Yep. They absolutely can. There's plenty of room. And when you do, you will be beloved.
Yeah. Radial Drago, speaking of people who are being beloved for 20 pounds, it seems to me the government is obsessed with controlling art. Yes, they are.
You don't
saying what you enjoy is problematic, has happened with comics, music, TV, and movies, and it's always failed. You would think they would learn. Yeah. Apparently Gamergate was funded by the US government. What in the world?
But why? But why?
To own the chuds, man. To own the chuds.
They got nothing better to do with their time than to get themselves behind I can't even describe. I don't want
taxpayers' money. They have nothing better to do with your taxpayer money, which is all enough to be like, no, I want a refund.
Yeah. So in America, we have laws against state-run media. We have, I should say that the fourth estate, or whatever it's called, is supposed to be completely separate from government funding. That is not something that's supposed to be happened. It's supposed to be labeled very specifically as government funded when it happens. But this USAID thing, I'm like, guys, this is this is taxpayer money being stolen and given to people to convince the taxpayers. That's not okay.
No.
It's very reminiscent of what happened in World War II with that side that they keep calling us that. They keep calling us Yahtzees. But that's exactly what they did during World War II, was they controlled the media. They controlled the state media. They controlled all the radio towers. They controlled every broadcast. And they socially engineered their people into believing they were on the side of right. All these people were wrong. And you would think we would have learned our lesson a long time ago, not to pull dumb things like that. But that's exactly what they've done.
Yeah. To Neil 89 for $2. Oh, wow. Don't tell me he went woke too. I'm going to ask you, hey, Tom F., you have yet to decide. We need you to weigh in on this. Should culture play Dark Souls on a stream?
No.
Is Dark Souls clean, or am I setting myself up for failure here? I mean, it's just dark and kind of violent, right?
It's dark and violent, and
don't
boss fights are really fun.
Okay, cool. There we go. Tom,
only culture bleeds.
Only culture bleeds. That's amazing. What does that mean? All right, on to our next story here. Culture, do you want to take it, or do you want me to take it? Oh, here, Tom F.
I like it when you run a show, but which one are you wanting to cover?
The PlayStation Network for sure.
Okay, let's get it out of the way then.
All right, there. I've sent it to you, but I've also got it ready if you are not able to do that at this
Oh,
moment.
I can whip it out.
All right. Well, see you later.
That's all, folks.
Bye, Jonas. Anyway, I was joking. I think he knows I was joking.
Yes, of course.
And I think you had the wrong it. Story.
You know,
this one.
Here it is. The tutorial boss will frustrate you. You know
Yes.
what? I don't mean to be all like in my day, but you know who had a great tutorial? The original Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man game that came out. Bruce Campbell narrated the tutorial. So good.
Well, all you have to do is say Bruce Campbell. I think
that's right. We talked about him on the Pro Show as well.
Hey, before we release this next story onto the world, the title story for the channel, I just want to acknowledge the leaderboard that we have right now, because that's really important to those of you that contribute and keep us afloat and give us all the quarters and cash for pizza. You guys keep us fed and take care of us. So
we've got good pizza over here at that game place.
We do, but we also have good, wonderful people that help us out. Our top supporters already. Team Hill got the platinum trophy already. He's in the lead with that. He's in the lead with gold for the day. And we've got Radial Drago and a solid silver, and of course the lovely bronze for our friend Pinochet's helicopter tours. So thank you very much.
Okay, we have to acknowledge this here. Tinny89 for $5. Hey, wait a moment. I've been giving tips for Dark Tide for months, but Dark Souls gets bumped to the start of the list. I am disappointed.
No. I look, I have to play Assassin's Creed. That's something I promised you guys I would suffer. At the same time, I will try out whatever this Dark Tide thing is, because it sounds like T-Neo wants somebody to play Dark Tide with. So I'll give it a go.
All right.
Are you a Warhammer guy? Culture.
I like Warhammer a lot.
Yep. And Radial Drago for £2. Never mind Dark Souls. I vote he plays Dustborn.
Why are you hurting me? Why? Why? I didn't do anything to any of you. I did not. There's nothing but love from this direction, everybody. I'm gonna give you my love. Wait, you can't do that. Anyway, let's take a look. I almost Elon'd all over the place. Anyway, let's get to it.
That's how you cast out the dice in Yahtzee, right?
Yes. All right, let's get to it. All right. Apparently, Sony experiences PlayStation outage over the weekend. Ooh, this is rough. We're going to talk about it on That Game Place right now. Company cites operational issues as caused despite user fears of data breach. Gentlemen, before we even get into this story, I'm voting data breach. What are you voting?
If they're silent on another data breach right now, they're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, but
from my understanding, they let go of about 160 people the day before this happened. I'm voting on it was someone they let go, because I mean that's a big coincidence. You fire 160 people from the California studio, and then this happens the day after that. I don't know. I call foul. I think it's a data breach, but I think it's someone of their own.
You think
one of their own that did it?
That's a good point.
Yeah, you think they dumped them on the way out, Loki?
Sabotage, yeah, internal sabotage. Wouldn't be the first time. Won't be the last time.
That's true. Listen, all y'all, it's sabotage. All right, let's get to it. Sony's PlayStation Network. What now?
Just in case YouTube doesn't understand.
Allegedly.
Just in case they don't understand Beastie Boys lyrics, that was not an actual claim against Sony right now.
All right. Anyway, Sony PlayStation Network has finally restored full functionality after an hours-long outage that left millions of players unable to connect over the weekend. The disruption, which began late Friday and lasted through much of Saturday, prevented users from accessing online multiplayer games, purchasing content, and even playing some single-player titles due to the digital verification requirements.
There it is.
That's right. And look, my outrage at this is simply live service games are baloney sausage, and we should stop buying them.
And the fact you can't play your single player game, there is absolutely no reason why you shouldn't be able to play your single player game. For anybody who doesn't understand how Steam works, that computer back there has been offline, and I don't just mean unplugged. Steam has been in offline mode since Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out. I downloaded a game, I played it for just a minute, I dumped out of the title screen, I went offline. Why? Because I'm modding it and I don't want to have to deal with any updates or any BS until all my stuff's done. Then I'll update the mods and I'll go forward. But as long as I have that in offline mode, even if I turn it off, even if I put it to sleep, even if I reset it, Steam will still come back in offline mode, which means that as long as that's there, I can play every game I have downloaded. I don't have to authenticate. I don't have to do any of that BS. I can just play my game in offline mode and it's not going to update. I'm not going to get anything from Steam. They're not going to mess with me. I can keep that there forever if I want to. I never have to update Steam. I never have to update my games. I can just leave it that way and it'll let me play whatever I want forever without forcing an update. This is beyond incompetent. This is like willfully, if you don't do how we want you to do it, you're just not going to have access to your library. Oh, but Loki, what about the hard copies? Guess what? Hard drives don't work if your PS5 Pro can't get in and authenticate your drive when you hook it up to your PlayStation. Lose power, guess what it has to do? It has to sit there and cycle and re-authenticate your disk drive. That means all you have to do is lose internet, then lose power, and guess what? You've lost access to your disk drive. Game over. No physical copy of games.
Well, that's a really good point. And like right now, the PS3s are all dying, right? Because of the battery issue right now.
The battery issue.
I mean, I still have my NES sitting back. Actually, it was my sister's from back in the day. I have all of my old Nintendo consoles. I'm a little worried about the Nintendo Switch. Whenever we get there, I think that's going to be really rocky as far as retro gaming goes. But Nintendo consoles, you're good to go for a very long time, except for the Switch. I'm worried about the quality of those builds. With the PlayStation, it seems like there's nasty planned obsolescence here. Like they want those things to die so that you'll buy the next one so they can sell you the next games catalog. This is how you get people jailbreaking everything. Like, why would, as a retro person, I want to buy a PS5 Pro so that I can do everything on that console in the best way 10 years from now.
Right.
Or a PS4 Pro. I'm about to go buy one of those things so I can have something awesome to play 3D Blu-rays on. But this to me just worries me that the only way to do this is jailbreaking it. If I've already got to modify it, and I'm not encouraging anyone to do this, well, why wouldn't I just buy something else that happens to be able to play these things that maybe isn't made by the manufacturer?
Right. No, I'm with you 100%. And I agree. It's just, I think we're going to eventually have to get there anyway, because if I'm not mistaken, some of the rumors we've all been hearing is that there won't be another Xbox.
Yeah. It's just going to be online gaming only. That's what I've heard. You'll still get a box. You're still going to get a box, but that box is going to hook you up to Xbox library or whatever. And you're not going to have any hardware. So there won't be like a really cool card in it that makes it look super sweet. All of it's going to be download streaming games. Nothing, no hard copies.
Man, on live was ahead of its time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And can I say something real quick? Someone in the Davina Duckworth says it's CR 2023 battery on the PS3. The problem is there's a code. It's not just the battery. There's a code embedded in the battery that Sony put in all of their stuff. All that has to match. If you pull that battery out and replace it, yeah, the battery will work, but the PlayStation won't recognize anything, any of its hardware, anything, and it'll just dump you to hey, something's wrong with your PlayStation. Have it serviced because you replace that battery. There's a code on that battery that tells the PlayStation, this is an authentic battery from Sony to fix your stuff. It doesn't work without that.
This is incredibly frustrating to me because people who hold on to consoles like this, they buy new games. And this just makes them not want to buy new stuff.
Yeah. I'm going to try to do a battery replacement. I didn't think it was all that difficult.
It is.
Because you have to consider I did that in my Xbox before it died.
And that's cool, but the problem with the PS3 is the battery has a code, the hard drive has a code, and your processor has a code. And all those codes have to connect and say, we're good, or it doesn't work. It just fails. It won't accept it.
So then somebody has to come up with some kind of a
workaround.
Workaround. And
Capcom did this with their cabinets back in the day. So anybody remember Street Fighter 2 and all those fun cabinets, Marvel versus Capcom? There's a code that's embedded in the chip and a code that's embedded in the battery on the board. Both of those have to link up and sync for that to work. This was their safety precaution to prevent people from modifying the boards and running their own stuff, because that kept happening with Street Fighter 2. So when they came out with like Super Street Fighter World or whatever it was, the kind of third one, it was like Super Turbo Street Fighter 2 Pro,
Alpha,
whatever it was. They prevented them from being able to modify the boards by using this system. Now that system's been cracked. Decades later, you can emulate it, you can do all this extra stuff. But back then it was an impossible workaround because the only people that could work on the board was Capcom. So if your cabinet went out and it was the board, you had to ship your board off to Capcom and they just send you a new board. You can't do that anymore. So they had to find workarounds. Eventually they're going to figure out a workaround where you don't have to super mod it, because there are ways. You get a new chip. You get a modded PS3 and the thing will last forever. You can swap out the batteries, whatever. But on a standard one, you have to send it into Sony, and they're not going to work on it. They're not going to fix it. They're not going to put a new battery in it.
Well,
so you're just kind of left hanging to dry.
I have a solution. MAME.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
But regardless, I've built a few cabinets, so I've done that a few times, and I will tell you, there's no reason not to build a MAME cabinet. Just there really isn't. It's a wonderful thing if you're into arcade retro.
Yeah, I started working on. I ran out of time before the end of the year, but Loki gave me everything I needed to get my own little setup at home. I'm planning on doing it one of these days as soon as I can get time. Really cool, really inexpensive.
It's a fun project. I've got a Street Fighter 2 cabinet in my den that has everything on it. You can play Mortal Kombat, you can play all that, and it only cost me a couple $100 to do the work. And I had to do the work. I had to rewire everything and swap everything out, but that was fine. For that cheap, I'll get 6,000 MAME games on my arcade cabinet to play. It's worth it.
And there's nothing like arcade games, honestly. Console arcade is not the same as arcade.
Yeah, as like that one actor said, I like a good facade. Yeah, let's.
We got some super chats on this here. Kamchi for $1.99. Lack third-party games, online only, hacks, but don't buy. I'm thinking that's don't buy PlayStation. Yeah, it lacks third-party games. It's online only. Hacks, don't buy PlayStation. Here's the other problem. I like what PlayStation has the rights to, but it's very difficult to find games that I actually want to play from PlayStation. I'm going to move myself down here because we're going to have somebody joining us. Spencer.
Wake up, everybody. Let's go. It's video game time.
That's right.
Video game time.
None of this sleepy MAME cabinet talk. We can talk emulation later. What are we talking about now? Let's go.
We're talking about the merits or lack of it of a PlayStation right now because
Astrobot. That's about it.
Yeah, I do like Astrobot. I like Spider-Man Remastered. So
that first game was really good.
I liked it. Butterbiscuit 92 for 5. No point in owning a console anymore unless you have kids. A budget PC can emulate, and for the price of a PS5 Pro, you can build a good PC.
True story.
I second that. I would only
Yep.
I would only recommend a Nintendo console as well, because those ones are so proprietary that like sometimes they don't get ROM dumped, sometimes they don't get ripped, all that fun stuff, and
Yeah.
sometimes the mechanics don't work right. Like I have a 3DS emulator which works, but obviously doesn't have the 3D capabilities.
Yeah, I have a PS5 for playing Fortnite and the occasional PlayStation exclusive at this point. But I'm pretty much fine with the same thing on an Xbox Series S for under $200 if you get it for the right get it on
you can
sale.
score consoles really cheap nowadays.
Yeah. Yeah, Kamchi for $2. Reason lack of games of the stupid censorifenicide?
Yeah.
Censorifenicide.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, there's almost nothing on the PlayStation right now.
Yeah,
It's
the
very frustrating.
PlayStation really dropped the ball this generation with just no games coming out. Loki, you might remember more, or maybe even Jonas, but like, was it PS4 or like the end of PS4, the beginning of PS5, where they were like, "Oh, we're shifting all of our pay plans now. Like, we're getting rid of the free catalog for this tier, and now you have to pay for everything." And it was just like, wow,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
terrible. Because like
Yeah.
one of the big arguments in the PS4, or at least in the PS3 days, was like, oh yeah, I can play all of my games online without having to pay for a service. Like, I don't have to pay for Xbox Live. I can just turn it on and I'm good to go. And now
Yep.
you only get that on PC.
Right. And also, another thing that PlayStation does that absolutely drives me insane, they have all the games that I actually want to play on PlayStation, whatever their Essentials or Premium or what,
Yeah,
PlayStation Plus. You can only stream the ones that I actually want to play.
Yep.
Like
Wait, what?
The old
Yeah.
Ratchet and Clanks are cloud gaming only.
I thought they were all like local downloads. This
Nope.
is actually blowing my mind. That is awful.
None
That
of the
is
PS3,
bad.
none of the PS3 library is download and play. It's all you stream it.
Yeah.
Unless there was a
My jaw literally
PS4
dropped.
version.
I know I have my image up, but I'm like, good goodness. Like, how is this possible?
Yeah.
Like for a while, they had
me,
Resident Evil 5 on there, but they had the PS3 version and then they had the PS4 version. Well, the PS4 version you download and play. The PS3 version you stream. I don't know why they did that.
The same what? Yeah.
And I've got decent internet, and I've never been able to get that to work correctly. I don't know what kind of internet they think people have, but seriously, I'd get so much more
their
play
testing
out of it.
like in their proprietary campuses or whatever, where they can limit the amount of people on your internet and control it all. They don't open it up for like 7 billion, like my little sister and her like daughter coming over, and her daughter watching a bunch of Bluey videos all day, right?
Yep.
So
hey, look at that Yellow Flash. Good to see you. This is why
Hey,
I have
what's
a
up,
battery
What is up?
PS3. I can play all of those
I know
games
that guy.
in 4K upscale thanks to my TV.
Yep.
That's a good point.
Yep. I have a big fat boy too, Yellow Flash. It's hard to keep that thing maintained.
Yep. I've got a PS4 stick sitting here in my office, but I have the PS5 there not doing anything. Yeah, this is making me reconsider a lot of stuff here.
I've played, but Jonas, I mean, I've played a lot of PS4 games on my PS5. It's amazing for PS4 games.
Yeah, it's also shocking to me. Well, like Red Dead Redemption 2.
It's great.
Why is there not a
Yeehaw.
PS5 version of that? They just literally sell the PS4
yeah.
version.
Yep.
That's the other thing. Is like so weird about this generation. You can't. Sometimes you have to be reminded what version of the game you're playing.
It's
Yeah, but-
awful. I know.
But wait
Yeah.
a minute, guys. They just came out with that new super shiny PS5 Pro thingy majiggy.
$700, and then you have to buy the drive. Pinochet's helicopter tours for $5. It is a coin battery, or is it a coin battery or an IC chip battery? That makes no sense. A battery is just a battery. I thought chips were what flagged OS's operating systems of tampering.
It's got a
No,
serial
chips come in
number.
sour cream and onion and vinegar. There's a lot of options.
It's got a serial number that
Now I'm hungry. Why?
it's got a serial number. This is what I was saying earlier. It's got a serial
Yeah.
number that has to match up with the hard drive and it has to match up with the CPU that's in your PS3. All three have to match. It's like, the triangle of destiny or whatever in Zelda. All that has to match up. So if it doesn't match up, your PS3 thinks there's a problem and is like, no, we can't detect anything. Something's wrong. Send it to PlayStation and have them look at it.
Yeah.
That's your dump screen.
And leave it to Sony to find a proprietary way to make it worse for everybody.
You say that, but sometimes Nintendo makes mistakes, Jonas.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Nintendo makes mistakes. They just also happen to
called
make
the Wii U.
fantastic games. Oh, you're hurting
easy.
me. You're
I
hurting
have
me.
one, and I still admit it.
Yeah, yes, but also there's some things that really only work on the Wii U.
Oh,
And also the
100%.
Wii U brings us most of the great software that everyone plays on the Switch.
It's true. It's true. It's just like the PS4, PS5 thing.
I'm telling you right now, my PS4 games play amazing on my PS5. So,
All right, Culture. Sorry for the interruption.
Nah,
Pong
we're good.
120K on my PS5.
We were way behind. I will have to figure out Dancing Bear for my 30K subscriber celebration tomorrow. So I will be
Dancing Bear.
Yeah, I had to get a onesie of a bear.
Nope.
So I'm rocking a bear onesie tomorrow.
Nope.
No.
Nope. I'm out.
Congratulations on the 30K, but no.
It's like the Seinfeld gif when he's at the movie theater. Just nope. I'm out.
Thanks for your support. Okay. Anyway, we're back to it. So I'll just record that video later. So Sony Interactive actually confirmed on Sunday that services were back online, offering a brief apology and a small consolation for PlayStation Plus subscribers. I'd be one of those. An automatic 5-day extension to their membership. However, the company has yet to provide a detailed explanation of what caused the disruption. My speculation is going to be that they did a bad thing once again, but I could be wrong.
You also forgot to mention that 5 days is only if you are a PS5 Plus subscriber. If you just use their Netflix streaming and whatever, you're SOL. You can go eat it.
Well, I mean, technically you could go eat it anyway because PlayStation really doesn't want you to benefit from anything. But the network service,
that's why they gave you Concord last month and then Suicide Squad.
Man, they're
it's worse than you'll have nothing and you'll like it. You'll have garbage and you'll like it.
You'll have garbage and then we'll take it away. Okay, you can't even have the flaming garbage.
Yeah, can't even have that.
No. So the network services are fully recovered from an operational issue, according to Sony. We apologize for the inconvenience and thank the community for their patience. Oh, yes, that's what gamers have, infinite patience. All PlayStation Plus members will automatically receive an additional 5 days of service. The outage, which affected players worldwide, included the US, UK, and Australia, left many unable to access their game libraries or even launch titles they had previously downloaded. Players looking forward to their usual Friday night gaming sessions were particularly irritated. Yeah, look at Hard Rook. Yeah,
they didn't say anything about DLC. Does anybody know if like let's say I have Spider-Man 2 and there's DLC that I bought, which Spider-Man 2 doesn't have a DLC, but if I did,
but we know what you mean, yeah.
Would that prevent my game from loading? I'm sorry, but the save contains content from a DLC that you don't own. That is insanity.
That's part of the DRM check, Loki, is okay, do you have this DLC downloaded? And then it's kind of like what you were saying with the serial numbers, right? But just digitally, was it the one purchased for this account for this thing? And so if you're not online, it can't run one level of check, which is asking the server, is this a legal purchase? So the game will automatically go, can't verify, can't load, taking you back to the title screen.
That's insane. That's absolute insanity. They have
it's bad
overtaken the plumbing so bad that everything is. I'm surprised this didn't happen before. I'm surprised it didn't happen for longer. I'm surprised it didn't last the whole weekend as much as they've stopped up the drain.
I am actually surprised about that it didn't last the whole weekend, because this has happened before, a decade ago, and it was down for a couple days. So this happens, as everybody in the chat's been pointing out with our super chats, and we love y'all. This happens with Sony way too much.
Yeah.
I would never like, don't use your main credit card on it. Don't use your main username or like just pretend like you're logging into a site that has a paywall and you just need a throwaway thing.
Yeah. So by the way, that like we are not sponsored by privacy.com, but that's an excellent way to get a burner credit card number for something like that. So just so everybody is aware, there was a massive outage during the PS3 era, and they ended up like down for was it a month?
Yeah,
it was a long time.
It was a long. I'll look it up right now, but you can keep going.
There were hacks not that long ago affecting several studios at Sony as well. I think was that Christmas of last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
And of course, there's the infamous Sony hack that caused the interview to be wait, the interview wasn't leaked online. It was because of the interview.
2011 PlayStation Network outage, 24 days.
Yeah.
Yeesh. My goodness.
They'd never be able to get away with that today. There's no way.
Well, it's kind of like, I'm glad Culture brought it up, because like what really gets me is that nobody is saying what happened. Like nobody's saying, we got hacked, there was a server issue, whatever. Like, and that really, really worries me, because this is slightly out of pocket, but it's related. Last year or the year before, Kadokawa, who just got bought out by Sony, they got hit by a massive, massive hack, and their services went down, like their streaming and all that stuff. And their president didn't say anything for the company didn't say anything for 2 days. And then when it did happen, the president president came out and was like, yeah, sorry, there was a little oopsies. And then all the staff came out and were like, it wasn't an oopsies. We got hacked. There's personal information out there. You need to tell people. So that's what really worries me, is that not necessarily, Kadokawa is now influencing Sony, but more that's just what we're seeing is some level of damage control. That's just going to be worse for everybody. How many episodes of like Arthur or Rugrats or whatever have we watched about not like just tell the truth right away and it's going to be better before things snowball? Like just tell us now and we'd all go, that sucks. Yep. Like it happens. It sucks. Woof. But now that you're waiting, if you tell us now, we're going to go, what the heck? Why don't you care about us?
Why didn't you tell me before that my data is floating around in cyberspace right now and anybody could be buying it and using it?
Well, they're going to be solving it very soon. You're going to get 1 free month of Equifax credit monitoring, and everything will be better.
Yeah, but
that would make me laugh so hard. Just an Equifax PlayStation collaboration.
Sony should buy Equifax. I mean, just think about it. Anyway, save some money. Look, now that I know that social security numbers are not deduplicated, courtesy of Elon Musk the other day, how can we possibly base credit and credit scores also off of a social security number any longer?
You can't. So if anybody's ever had your identity, stolen, I have. I spent around 4 years and about $5,000 getting a convicted felon that was in prison, and I wasn't in prison, off of all my stuff.
Yup.
I had a mortgage that had failed, and the house that had been repoed, a car that had been repoed. I had all this stuff on my record. I had to go to a lawyer. I had to go through all that. And they just said, "Oh, well, it happens." And I'm like,
thanks.
Yeah.
Well, like I know this story. I just heard this like crime story a couple days ago where like some guy was using another, like there's like guy A who is the normal, got a job and everything. And there's like guy B who's like a criminal, homeless guy, whatever. And guy B for years had been using the social security identity of guy A, but never really did anything too bad with it. So nobody ever noticed anything. And then out of nowhere, the guy A got like police showing up at his door and they arrested him and they took him to jail because there were a bunch of outstanding warrants and like unpaid bills for his name and his social security number. And when they all went to court and everything, the judge was like, I don't know what to tell you. The guy right here, it was literally like a cartoon. Like this guy says he's you, this guy has all the documents saying he's guy A, you go to jail. And he literally went to prison for like a month while they figured it out. So it's not fun. is basically what I'm saying.
By the way, identity theft insurance is a product that is out there. Xander Identity Theft can get you up to $1 million in mitigation on that, as well as Aura. I'm not endorsing either of those products, although I've used
we
both
could.
of them.
But we
Yeah,
could.
if you want to reach
look,
out.
you guys.
Identity theft is a serious issue, Jim.
And and if you
That's a reference to The Office.
Yep.
Yeah, no. Indeed. And if you want people to listen, gamers to listen, to sell your services for identity protection, et cetera, you can do what they do at Dunder Mifflin. Did I say that right?
Mufflin.
Yeah.
That's the version we're not allowed to talk about on
They
this.
sell muffins. Or
Muffins.
muffins.
Really quick, the Kateris, I think his name's Kateris. You are correct. There is a chip that once that battery dies, that chip forgets what's on it. So once you take that battery out, whatever chip is there, it forgets. It's like that number is gone.
That's
And the
only
only
okay,
people
Loki?
that can put it back on there is Sony.
Okay.
So yes, you are correct. But once that
You know.
battery dies, that's it. Sony's the only ones who can fix it
Yeah. For
without
me,
modifying it.
that sounds to me like there's possibly a hot swap fix that could be done, but if nobody's done it at this point, why couldn't they do it? I don't know. You can hot swap batteries. It just is a very complicated process. I don't know.
I don't trust myself to do it. I'll probably
Yeah.
blow myself up.
That's a good point. We do have some super chats though.
Yeah, we do.
Yep.
Super!
Kamchi. Did we talk about this one for $199? O-Type Skeletor PS5 for funny details on it. Lol. I'm gonna trust you on that for now. But for $199 around PS4, Sony went Senero Psycho that removed 80% of video games.
Yeah.
Is that Psycho?
Censor, yeah. Because they took out Dead or Alive, beach volleyball. They prevented a bunch of stuff coming over to Japan. This was free money. You already came out with the game. All you have to do is translate dialogue. That's it. Let them keep talking in Japanese. You don't have to translate it to English. Just bring the game over and let us play it. It's already done on the Singapore discs anyway. You have English subtitles. So just give us the game. Why not? Why don't they do that? Because that would be bad, having girls playing volleyball on a game on the PS4. The Americans don't want that. Whoever told you that was smoking something and lying to you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. They need to censor that too.
No, they knew Americans wanted it, but remember, it was about we got to make it so they don't want that anymore. Like, remember, they know we all want this, but that's why it's for the that's why they go, we're going for the modern audience, or we're here to change outlooks, or like all that kind of crud.
Yep.
Where's Frank? I blame Frank.
Spencer, that's not that bad. Tenille 89 for 5. Well, you see, it's embarrassing to admit that a woke butthurt for a former employee kneecapped your system on the way out the door, despite being illiterate.
Well, there you go.
I've been at corporations before where somebody just decided to fatally break something on the way out. That's it wasn't me, by the way. First of all, it does happen. Comics Dad with a super sticker. It is an emoji with sunglasses. Thank you very much, Comics Dad.
Thank you very much.
Yep. All right. Go ahead, Culture.
Oh, sure. So yeah, apparently this guy's game night got ruined. He was like, "Thanks for ruining this." Another vented frustration over digital ownership, stating, "I can't play any offline games I own because my PS5 can't verify I own it." Look, we've talked at length about this particular story, and I'll just say it this way: PlayStation, do better.
Yeah.
There we go.
Do better, Senator.
That's right. Look, right now, PlayStation Network is the Captain America Brave New World of the video game space. So be prepared
That's
to be
not
disappointed.
fair. Some people still like PlayStation.
I still like PlayStation. I
Exactly.
don't like,
And nobody likes Captain America Brave New World. That was the joke.
yes, but I don't like PlayStation Network. So there's that.
That's fair.
Okay, fair enough. We got a pro raid incoming there, Jonas. Say hi to the pro people.
Did he finally stop talking? Hey, bro.
He did. All right, let's move on.
Not in my dreams.
I think we've talked that one to pieces. Oh my goodness. Jonas, we have more to talk about though.
We do.
We do. We have this one. You guys want to talk about the squad kill the Justice League one more time?
Oh, no.
Do we?
Always.
What
Never-
we can talk about Marvel Rivals. Which
From
one do
here
you
on
want to
keep
talk
our-
about?
We can
Either
keep our
one is
hands
fun.
warm.
How
Either
about
one is fun.
How about discount Marvel Rivals with multiverses? Does that sound like fun?
Ugh.
Whoa.
The
Yes,
worst
please
game
go
I've
ahead.
ever played.
All right.
Multiverses.
Multiverses from our good friend. He's actually here, but he didn't do this. He just edits this.
I looked at it.
but from you did. But from Ryan, it seems like Warner Brothers is not having a good go, right? Ever since they released Hogwarts Legacy, things have seemed to have, retreated downward fast.
That really was like the last big thing they've had.
Yeah. Well, but these are big things, just not the way they want them. Let's take a look at this story from Ryan Pearson over at what's that place called? Bounding into Comics. That's right. Amid the squad kill the Justice League and multiverses woes. Whoa, BDU. Warner Brothers Games president announces he'll be stepping down after 12 years as division boss.
Man, that's rough.
Yeah. Hey. I'm going to give you a bunch of garbage at the end, and you're going to make sure I leave.
Well, that kind of is what it is. If you look through, because he came in like 2013, and he has, if you just look at his tenure, it's like, oh, in the beginning, you would say that, like corporate style, like he had good games because he was there for God's Injustice, a lot of the Lego games,
Lord of the Rings.
The Lord of the Rings stuff, the Batman Arkham Knight, which I know wasn't the best one, but people still liked it. The Dying Light games, Mortal Kombat 10, which was better, but not great. That's kind of where it started going downhill. But more to the point is that he had some okay things at the beginning, but it's sort of like what you guys were hinting at. That was just his tenure. He just came in. All of that stuff was in the works. Once you get to recent years with,
his stuff.
His stuff where you get things like here, I'm looking through it right now. You get Mortal Kombat 11. You get Back 4 Blood. If anybody remembers, that was the really bad Left 4 Dead wannabe.
No.
You got Scribblenauts. Okay, that I actually like that one. I can't.
Yeah,
even really talk crap
but
about that
that's a multi-plat.
And then, not that much at Warner Brothers Games under this guy.
Well, I mean, the Harry Potter's game was developed by a different developer, and they did a good job.
Avalanche,
Legacy, yeah, it was Avalanche.
Yep.
But
it's still under WB Games though.
No, and that's true. That's true. But after spending over a decade overseeing the studio's ever worsening library of releases, Warner Brothers Games president David Haddad has announced that his time as the head of the studio is officially over. And it sounds like Spencer says, "Adieu." Don't let the door hit you.
Adieu.
But having first stepped into the role in 2015 after previously serving as the head of Activision Blizzard's Guitar Heroes division, which they shut down. This guy has a history of shutting things down.
And you know what? He left that division right after DJ Hero, which is what shut down the division.
It was so bad. So anyway, he confirmed that he's out on January 25th. So bye-bye. So sad. He says, "I'm so proud of everything we accomplished together at Warner Brothers Games during my time with the company." What did you accomplish, bro?
You know what he accomplished? I'll answer that. He accomplished an online-only mode in Mortal Kombat 11. Yep. That is the only way you can get certain costumes and unlock certain things is they force you to play online. Instead of just being able to unlock it, you've either gotta do this huge online thing or you gotta pay for it with your own money, and those are expensive.
Loki, you just made me realize something, and this blew my mind because I genuinely didn't think about this connection at all until you just said that. Remember a second ago I said, hey, Injustice was pretty good, right? And that was at the beginning of his tenure, 2015. And then I gave that asterisk that's okay, but of course he just kind of took over. The last guy greenlit that and everything. Yep. But he was there for Injustice 2, which still a fun game, but that's where they started introducing for all Warner Brothers games the super annoying gear system, where
And
it's
the
like,
loot
here's your,
box.
yes, exactly. Like, oh, here's your flash helmet with plus 0.02 block damage. And it's like, I don't want, can I have like the kid flash helmet? Can I just have that? Like, no, you get to upgrade your stats. And it was awful. But then you saw that in all the Mortal Kombats, in everything, in Kill the Squad. It's everywhere. This guy clearly thought that was a great system, and he's wrong.
And you had to pay real money to make that really good gear look different. So like what Spencer's saying, if you wanted the best helmet in the game to look like Kid Flash's helmet, you had to pay real money to cosmetically change it to look that way.
That's again, this is why I hate games as a service, live service games, software as a service. I think there should be a consumer. If we really had consumer protection in this country and globally, it would be, you can't do this. People have the right to own things and own them in perpetuity. You're not allowed to, kill these things if you decide to employ these silly mechanics that require people to be connected or anything else. In fact, I believe DRM at its fundamental core is illegal, but that's just me.
My man.
Anyway, back to it. I am so proud of everything we've accomplished together at Warner Brothers, driving it into the ground. Games during my time with the company. It's been an absolute pleasure working on and building our iconic gaming franchises, and I will continue to be an enthusiastic supporter of this talented team of people that have made terrible games for the last several years. I look forward to working on the next chapter of my career, which is probably to be found somewhere else while you fail up, and will also be grateful for my time with Warner Brothers games. Okay. Meanwhile, Haddad's exit was internally confirmed by Warner Brothers Discovery Global Streaming and Games CEO President JB Perrette, who, in an email sent to a number of other staff members, not only broke the news, but also heaped praise and gratitude on his colleague for his past work. Outside of Hogwarts Legacy, developed by Avalanche, Game of Thrones Conquest, can anybody here say anything positive about that game?
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah.
How about Golf Clash?
Oh yeah, that is no, it's thinking a different game.
Okay. And Mortal Kombat's recent stuff.
He didn't do that.
9 was great. Everything else was bad.
X was decent. It didn't have almost any of the online nonsense that you had to put up with. But that's not true. That whole Mortal Kombat's never been more popular. No, it's never been more broken than under your tenure, sir. Thank you very much.
Well, I will say this, that he's going to stick around for the next 3 months in order to help ensure a smooth transition. Is he going to come back as like Paulette or something? Between himself and the yet to be decided successor. All right, fair enough. Okay. I thought I was funny. I guess not. Anyway, so while these last years of Haddad's tenure have seen him oversee an embarrassing string of misses, I love the way Ryan writes, such as the divisive Back for Blood and widely panned Gotham Knights, which was garbage. The infamous Squad Kill the Justice League, the outgoing WD president can still count far more victories under his watch than otherwise. Okay. Fan favorites, Dying Light. Mortal Kombat X. Okay.
First
Batman
Dying
Arkham
Light was
Knight.
fun.
Yeah, it was okay. Arkham Knight, it was fine. Mad Max 2015. No. Lego Dimensions. I don't know. You guys weigh in on some of these.
Toys to Life, may it rest in peace. That's all I have to say about that.
I miss Toys to Life.
Mad Max was a fun one-time playthrough, but it didn't have legs after that.
Which was too bad. In like the olden days, we probably would have given it like a solid 6 or 7 because it's like it's fun. It has solid everything, but there's just not a lot to it.
Yeah.
And this is the problem with games, right? Do you know how many games I can go back and replay? The good ones. There are many. It's like I can go back and play Red Dead Redemption 2. I can go back and play pretty much
3 Deluxe.
Yeah, I could go. Well, that would be great. I can go back. I could go back and play Cyberpunk, even though it was broken when it came out. It was just there are a lot of mechanics there that were really good. There was a lot of graphic and other issues that made that game really bad at release. But I look at these things and I'm like, there's like a handful of games like the Arkham series, maybe.
No, that's a good one. All the ones listed here, all these games, like right here, save maybe 11, are like people objectively like them, and they are at least objectively fun. Like if you pick up Dimensions or Lego City Undercover or Hitman 2 or Shadow of War, you're probably going to have a good time. Like you're maybe not the best life-defining time, but you're still going to have fun.
Right, and Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga is exactly what people think it is. It is it's a revamp of the same engine that they've been using forever, and it's fun, even if they kind of make Rey the lead character on the title screen.
Well, you know what? It doesn't help the film franchise. Or
what are you talking about? That's perfect marketing for the upcoming film
that'll come out in 2300.
Well, I will say this: mostly you're going around with Lego characters and listening to that John Williams soundtrack. Nothing made me want to watch Empire Strikes Back more than Lego Star Wars 2. I mean,
I love those games.
They're a lot of fun. I like Lego Star Wars 2 is probably the peak for me in the Lego Star Wars series, and I
would agree. For Star Wars, I agree.
But there's an interesting super chat. Kaliki Okedi, right? For 5.
Yes.
Isn't Haddad the guy who wanted to lean more into live service amid the success of Fortnite?
Yes.
Don't forget the blatant failure that is Mortal Kombat.
Yes.
This is interesting
because
I was actually hearing the opposite. I heard he was the guy who was trying to push against live service. So I would love to know if somebody else knows more than me on this, which not hard on this particular guy.
Didn't we just highlight the fact that he gave us their version of loot boxes and other garbage that you had to pay cash for?
Did he give us that, or was he the guy in charge of the division while it happened?
Well,
was he bragging about live service? Because I think if we're looking at what they're doing now, Hogwarts Legacy 2, Hogwarts Legacy DLC, Multiversus being a massive failure, shutting down before he left or after he left?
Well, he's still there. He's got 3 months on the clock still.
So I don't know. That makes me kind of suspicious of whether or not he's the live service person. Kaliki, I'm not disagreeing with you necessarily. This is me trying to work this out here. So the idea of a live service game, there used to be a thing where you would send 10 ships with Pepper to go get Pepper and bring it back. And it didn't matter if those 9 of those 10 ships crashed, because the Pepper that you could bring back in one of those ships was enough to pay for the entire fleet. I maybe have the substance wrong here on this, but it used to be something like that, where if you build 10 Fortnites, it doesn't matter if you have 9 failures, because you can have one and it will pay for the development of all of them here.
Yep.
So I can understand the gold rush here of a live service game, as much as I'm not a huge fan of more live service games. Fortnite is my exception on this.
Well, okay, I will step in and say
they
that
at least do good.
Yeah,
Kaliki Okedi is correct.
Okay,
he is.
Haddad was bullish on the idea of developing Warner Brothers' own Fortnite.
I thought you were talking about a game, Jonas. I thought you were talking about like trading game. Trade wins. Send your Pepper out forth into the universe.
And for those of you
that's called civilization.
And for those of you who don't speak Wall Street, bullish means that he has a positive outlook. And I would assume the counter would be bearish, meaning that you don't think it's going to be successful.
So for those of you who don't remember, back in January of last year, or I don't even think it was January, it might have been a little bit after that. But everything was kind of going really bad for Warner Brothers. They were admitting that this was even before the Squad. So they were like, yeah, things aren't really hot for us right now, but we're really going to, we have really good franchises, and we're going to lean into that and do this big live service push. And if you guys remember, they were talking about like, we're going to do Game of Thrones and Mortal Kombat and Harry Potter and DC. And Haddad, like there's no like one quote from Haddad where he says the word like I want live service, but every interview he gives a lot of the corporate like that's what we want. Like, what are you looking for right now in the future? oh, our brands have a lot of synergy that they can create between gaming and other content, and that's what we really want to connect with. You know, that kind of blah 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 blah. So yes, you are correct, Kalechi. I totally
Yeah. So next week, Kaliki, you can take my spot. Pinochet's helicopter tours for 2.
Finally, diversity.
Anyone ever do the dime thing to the RROD on 360? I have not.
I never did the dime. I did the towel. That one was stupid, but it worked.
Turning it upside down.
I don't even know what that means.
You had to like take. It was this weird thing where it was like you had to like take the Xbox off of a flat surface to make, because like if it was overheating, I don't even remember what it was anymore. But basically, the solution was like wrap it in a towel and then like elevate it in a weird way, and then it'll come back to life. And it did. And then it died again.
Amazing.
I went through like 3 Xboxes. All right.
It was the Jaguar chipset. The Jaguar chipset would overheat. It would get too hot, and then there would be cracks or there would be something wrong. And then it just didn't work. It red ringed after that.
Well,
but once
anyway,
they replaced those chips with the newer ones, it was better. Sorry, Culture.
No, you're right, and I'm sorry I stepped on you. All I was going to say was, the good or bad news, depending upon your perspective, is with him gone, that Wonder Woman game may also not be gone, or may be entirely gone.
I don't want that game to be gone, though.
I'm just saying it doesn't.
We want to see Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I want a good Wonder Woman game. I don't want a good I don't want a live service Wonder Woman game.
Well, you're not going to get to make that choice.
I know I'm not. I am aware of that, but I'm just saying, in my opinion, I still want to see her come out.
All right. Well,
that teaser got me interested when they dropped it. It's not my fault. It's been 4 years since they did anything with it.
By the way, isn't that the habit of Rocksteady to show you something that you may want, and then many.
That's not Rocksteady.
No.
But Studios.
But I'm sorry. Rocksteady's performance has not been stellar, but
it has not been Rocksteady.
But they've only had one, dude. They like I know what you're trying to do.
The founders left and they flopped.
Yeah, and how does that relate to them not giving you what you want?
They didn't.
What you really, really want.
But the difference here is like
what you really want.
Yeah.
Which difference?
Yeah, I will say I was excited about Suicide Squad when I first heard about it, and then I was informed on what's actually going on there.
Yeah, but I know that both Spencer and I watched Fandom, right, Spencer?
Oh, Fandom, yeah.
That's when they showed off what we were getting with the Squad Kill the Justice
League.
But
I guess that's where I disagree, because like when I saw the Squad, and most of the people I know, like we saw that and we went, what happened to our Batman series? Like the second that we saw that, it was like, no, we don't want that. So I never went through that phase of like, ooh, this could be cool. I saw Squad and I went, nope, never touching that.
They had a CGI trailer at the DC fandom event. This would have been back in 21, I think.
Yeah,
maybe 22. I'm not sure.
Ago.
But when I saw that, I was like, okay, Superman looks ticked. He looks mean. I want to see more of this. But once I saw more of it, I said, I don't want to see more of this.
I don't want. Yeah, take it back.
No, take it back.
Well, I'm just saying that Monolith looks like it's going to not be able to finish that Wonder Woman game.
But don't worry, guys.
That bums me out.
It was just a clone of everybody except for Wonder Woman.
It was fine.
That was so dumb.
It was fine.
That was so awful.
All right. Well, we have
Rocksteady.
We have time for maybe the super chats that came in, and we didn't make it too many stories.
We got the super chats though.
Yeah. No, it's good. But but I don't know. Do we want to? Let's just do a rough mention of the idea that CI Games CEO was banned from his own Fallen subreddit.
Oh yeah, what is that about? I know Marvin's been on that. I haven't been able to look at it yet. It's just the subreddit is mad at the CEO, I guess.
They don't like based games, or so I guess. Anyway, let's take a look at it. CI Games CEO has been banned from the Lords of the Fallen subreddit group for catering to what players want. Apparently, it's dangerous to send out polls to ask players what they like. So when you look at it, Marek Taminsky, who I'm a big fan of, Jonas, to be fair, he's the CEO of CI Games. I actually answered those surveys. Has been banned from the subreddit dedicated to his own game. The subreddit's moderation team called his politically motivated agenda It's the
What?
primary reason for
Wow.
What?
Wow.
I love it. So, in an official announcement, by the way, Marvin wrote this article, so it's
Of
brilliant.
course he did.
Yeah, in an official announcement,
Man.
that's right. In an official announcement titled "Addressing the CEO of CI Games," politically motivated agenda, the moderators expressed their concerns. So the CEO of CI Games, Marek Tymiński, is actively supporting and promoting fascist ideology. Wait, we can't say fascist in stories? Okay. Under the guise of catering to the player base. Okay. You mean science? There are male and females? I mean, I'm sorry. What body types do you want? Male and female. That doesn't seem controversial to humans.
Oh, wait, isn't this the guy who was like, we don't do that in our games? And everybody went, it's in Lords of the Fallen. And he went, oh, let me take a look at that.
Yep.
That's what they're freaking out about?
That's
Okay.
what they're freaking out about.
Even for the politically like brain poison, this is absurd. This feels like
one
a
of his-
relic out of 2014.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, so as a moderation team, along with the gamers worldwide, no, there are no gamers worldwide that support you bros over there at the moderator group. We are deeply shocked and disgusted by science in the past few weeks. As a result, the moderation team removed all CI Games and Hexworks officials from their roles within the subreddit. They clarified that this decision was not a reflection on the individuals removed, but was solely directed at the CEO. How do you claim to be the moderators for a given subreddit if you don't have the people who created the thing in the subreddit?
Because that's how the stupid subreddit system works, is that you can make it like, remember back in the day, Reddit was very, very what do you want to call it? Like guerrilla, right? So it was, do you want to have a community do you want to go talk about, I don't know, Marvel Rivals? Well, then Culture Casino goes and makes the Marvel Rivals subreddit, and everybody starts going there. And then by default, Culture is the owner, and he is the guy who is responsible for moderating it. But then, we've seen over at least the last couple decades, because this was even happening when I was still in school in like 2010, 2011, 2012, where it's not even a Reddit thing. It's the same thing we always see. Little communities, somebody gets power and they start power tripping and they start running it like it's their own kingdom. And that's where we run into this. What you're seeing here is going to also, I guarantee you, if they haven't already, they're going to try and do the death of the author thing, where everybody goes, yeah, it might be his game, but now we've transformed it. We've taken blah, 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 blah. It's all just ego tripping.
And less choice for all of you. Everybody out there listening, it all leads to less choices in games, less choices for games, less choices that you get to make because they want to force you down a directed path. They want to force you to play the giant chin character in the latest Star Wars game. They want to force you to do this instead of going, create your own character, create your own story, create your own this. They have all the technology to do that. They're not going to give it to you because they've been told you can't let gamers create. You just have to force them down a linear path.
Well, ultimately, the response to this by Tymiński was on X anyway, was that everybody's a Yahtzee thing is getting really boring and out of touch. Truth always wins in the end. Trust is built through authenticity, transparency, not by shifting narratives. Players first, which must be very fascist to these guys. Anyway, gentlemen, I am at the point where I need to wrap this up. Any final thoughts on this particular? Any particular thoughts on this particular story before we bounce out of here?
No, I have no thoughts at all.
I said what I had to say already.
Just play your games and don't join the communities.
Yeah. Why would you go to Reddit anyway at this point?
Oh, staff
really?
To be fair, anyway, it used to be very libertarian over there, and I enjoyed it. Now, not so much. But on that note, gentlemen,
like the tech posts from like 2008, where they're like, "Hey, I don't know how to fix this," and it's in some random subreddit.
Yeah, and they worked really well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Loki, what do you got to promote, my friend?
We've got YouTube Talk coming up tomorrow. We got Talk Hard. I'm going to be over on Pops' channel. We're going to be talking about the classic film Batteries Not Included.
Oh,
So that's coming up in like an hour and a half over on Pops' Talk Hard. Just look up Pops Talk Hard and you'll find it.
Spencer, elevator
I've not
speech.
heard about that movie in forever, Loki.
Mhm.
Whoa. Elevator speech. As always, guys, check out boundingintocomics.com every day for new news stories. You can find me on Twitter at Kabuto Writer Mav. You can find me on YouTube at Kabuto Studios. You can find me Thursday nights on YouTube on Foil Variant with my good friend Andrew from the Ripperverse. And aside from that, follow everybody here. Go follow Marvin the Movie Monster on Toonie Talk TV, Toonitown TV, whatever he has. Toonitown in the bar. You'll find it. I know he's not here, but we always got to give him a promo. And then shout out to Frank for his amazing work that he always drops all the time. And I don't think we're missing anybody. And if I did, all right, no, good. No, yeah, I did it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Jonas, your final thoughts.
Guys, I missed the show last week. I think, hey, I'm just throwing this out here. What if next week we do it on Wednesday?
I think that's a good idea. What do you
Yeah,
guys
I think let's do it on Wednesday. Yeah,
Okay.
let's do that.
That's my
And
favorite. That's my favorite. I didn't know we were getting a bonus What If episode this season.
Also,
Yeah.
there's a state of play tomorrow. Maybe we need to talk about that. guys.
Ooh.
Okay.
So,
All right.
We might
Let's talk
see you
about it.
all again very soon.
All right. Talk to you soon, guys. And
All right. For all the games that could be fun. Bye, Jonas. Anyway, be sure to check out That Game Plays for more videos coming up here quickly and my suffering for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now, on your way over to the great and powerful Mr. H reviews for the
Where
H
you'll see
Cap,
culture.
which starts moments from now. You'll
Hold
be
on.
automatically redirected. And Jonas will do the last super chat. I will see you guys
Neil89
later.
for 5.
Neil.
Bye, culture. To Neil89 for 5. Why won't you be me and validate me? Whiny, whinge, whinge. Wee. Thank you very much.
We're not supposed to feed and validate you after midnight.
Yeah, bad. No water either.
Then you'll turn into not just a troll, but a gremlin.
You'll turn into a
Multiply.
Sweet Baby employee if we feed and
Ooh.
praise you after midnight.
I mean, it's going to be really interesting to find out if U.S. aid went to organizations like Sweet Baby Inc. or maybe Black Girl Gamers and
I
things
thought
like that.
I thought
think
they
it-
should have did Sweet Baby.
Yeah.
I thought they got
it'd
like
be fun to-
500 or it was like 480 something $1,000. Alyssa McConte got
Huge.
not Alyssa McConte, the other one. Penman's Frequency got like 240
Oh, I
something
need the
thousand.
I need a
Sarkeesian.
Sarkeesian.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarkeesian, thank you.
That sounds like a Klingon, honestly, doesn't it? All right. With that
It
being
really
said,
does.
thank you so much for being here, everybody. Until next week, get your game on.